Good evening. Well, we got a great crowd. That's all for Mr. Smiley coming back to us. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Going to call the meeting to order, and this second item on the agenda is to approve the meeting agenda. Do I have a motion, please?
I make a motion that we approve the meeting agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or concerns? Okay. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're going to head down to presentations, and as we always do, we leave room for board member comments. So, it's open. Anybody? Okay. I got about a minute's worth. I was able to attend the Steel Magnolias play. Absolutely wonderful. Great job, DHS and all those involved. I also was able to attend the bank play, and that was well done also. So we really have a great arts and drama department with our schools, and very honored that we're a part of that, and definitely will keep on making sure it's first class. And then I also would like to just commend all the sport teams. Some did great, some didn't do great, but the point of it is that our coaches were leaders. They showed players integrity, how to present themselves on and off the field, and it truly makes a difference. So I'm very proud of our athletic program and things that have been accomplished. Anybody else?
I did want to say, I did go, and I really enjoyed going to watch our little lads play football at Admiral Stadium. That was really a neat thing to see the kids take the field, and I know we've kind of separated that a little bit from under the school umbrella, but it was so neat to see the kids and their school pride, and it's so much activity on that field, and then you could see them, and they were so cute. They got their plays, and they were really into it, and the coaches were right out there on the field, and I enjoyed watching that. So it was neat to have them there, and you can see them there in about 8 years on that big field. So it was really cute.
That's great. And compliments to those coaches and parents. That truly makes a big difference in those kids' lives. Okay. Superintendent?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. As usual, my calendar is uploaded in e-meeting for you under superintendent comments, along with an update on the 7 leadership standards as each month. So if you have a question about any of those, just feel free to give me a call one day this week. You have another document there as well. It's RTI intervention study. I was contacted by this group, Instructional Partnership, and I know them very well. I've worked with them in the past for some other things, and they have some grant money, and they're doing research around RTI and interventions across 5 states, and so they asked if we would be willing to participate. Fairly simple. It would be a half-day visit with observation and some interviews with some of our interventionists and our district leadership. So it would be very little effort on our part, and we would be able to receive a lot of that raw data, and those results would then help us in making decisions on an improvement around RTI and instruction. I do not need any type of board action. I just wanted you to be aware, and if anybody had any strong feelings one way or the other, would be glad to pull us out from that. But if the board feels comfortable, would love for us just to participate. The one thing that the board would need to be aware of is in their final white paper that they create on the research, it would list Danville Independent Schools as a participant in the study. It would not identify us in any way as far as classroom teachers, students, all that be confidential. It would be summary information in a white paper to help improve instruction across 5 states, not just our states.
Okay.
Unless anybody has any objections, then would love for us to participate in that study to give us extra information.
Enjoy yourself.
That's exciting.
Yep.
Want to also give a very quick update on sports. As Mr. Becker said, we've got a lot of great things going on with our sports teams. This past Saturday, our boys and girls swim team competed at the University of Louisville. They came in overall in 7th place, but they actually were 1st place when we looked at our surrounding districts. So that was really great. Proud of that. And we also had Keegan Wilcher was first place in the diving competition, so I thought that was really great. Brent Bowman, I'm sure you've probably already heard, but I think it's worth mentioning, was named Kentucky High School Soccer, the Soccer Coaches Association Small School Coach of the Year. So that was a big honor. Wrestling boys and girls basketball both will begin competition the first week of December, so I want to really watch for those dates so we can support those teams. And then it's really an amazing honor. If you have not heard, the United Soccer Coaches Association gives a high school team, gives an academic award for high school teams each year. So I'll make sure you get the numbers right, so I'm going to make sure I read it. The team has to have an average with all their players of at least a 3.75 GPA. Our boys had an average GPA this year of 4.02, which was first in the state of Kentucky and 7th in the nation. And our girls team averaged a GPA of 4.69, which was first in the state of Kentucky and 2nd in the nation. So what a big honor for those students. Not only did they do very well on the field, they also did very well in the classroom academically. So kudos to those students and those athletes.
Oh, wow. I got to applaud that. Smart and athletic. Wow. That's tremendous.
Bunch of smarties running the foot.
It is. And under school recognitions, let's see, Ms. Farmer, would you like to start?
So I have two students that are being recognized, but looks like one is only one able to be here, and she knows who she is. So actually the teacher is here too, Mr. Yates. He nominated Ari Kruger for outstanding leadership, and when he was describing Ari in class, he said several things, and you can chime in if I'm forgetting anything, but one was that she's a true friend to everybody, and she makes everyone feel welcome in class. She always knows what she should be doing and models that for everyone else, and does it in a way that's kind and helpful and helps everyone else succeed too. And I can say that her leadership is seen school-wide, that she's always doing what she should be doing and is really a fantastic kid. So you all should be proud. So here's your certificate. Oh, come here.
Mrs. Farmer, you also want to turn the paper to make sure they get a shot as well.
Of course. So, here, which way do you want to?
Look here first.
Okay, this way. All right, over
Here first.
All right, here first. We're going to stop this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now turn then Dad. Hold on.
1, 2, 3.
Now then you can All right. Okay, thank you. All right. Our other student that wasn't able to be here is Jackson Wade, and he was nominated by Brittany Groves, his classroom teacher. So we'll make sure to recognize him at school tomorrow. But then I also have another award for a volunteer. So our volunteer that's being recognized this meeting is actually my mother-in-law. But I did not nominate her because I didn't know that, I felt a little biased. But Carrie Farmer. And I will say that I did hit the lottery with her as a mother-in-law, and she is a retired elementary school librarian. So many people know her as the librarian at Woodlawn for a very long time, which is the job she was doing when I started dating my son. And since she's become retired, she likes to help libraries and children to love reading, and that means that she's not embarrassed to cluck like a chicken, or she brings puppets and tells stories, and she has been volunteering for Lisa Dunny's classroom since my daughter Kate was in kindergarten, and she's now a 6th grader at Dayton. So every month she comes to Lisa Dunny's class and reads a book with a crazy puppet and does something fun for the class, and she even followed Kate's class through 5th grade.
Yes,
But then still
yes.
came back to Lisa's.
Yeah.
And she also completely reorganized the library book room.
Yes.
And so when we moved to Hogsett, she was the one that organized all of our, and leveled all of the books and is leveling all the books in Lisa's class, which takes forever. So anyway, so she's our volunteer, and we're lucky to have her. So, that's right. Perfect. Thank you.
Newspaper.
This is for the Danville Living magazine. So-
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, you ready? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Farmer, and congratulations for your recipient. Good stuff. Okay, next we have Robin Catley, principal at Tolliver.
I'm going to start with our adult volunteer to recognize them first. Miss Brandy Hampton has been, she's joined us this year, mostly in the Family Resource Center. They also like to share and help schools out. So they have offered Brandy services to us, and every task that we've given Brandy, she has been very willing and very capable, and has spent literally hours at Tolliver just being available to whatever the need is. And I really appreciate all your help and bailing me out several times when I said, I need you right now. Can you help me? It's so much appreciated. So there you go, and thank you very much.
We're just doing one.
Yep, we're here now. All right, next up is Donathan Broughton. Donathan, will you come on up here? All right, so oftentimes when we get a bus conduct report, it does not make me feel very good. But this bus conduct report, Mr. Garrett brought to my attention and said, you gotta see this. And it says, Donathan continues to prove himself as an outstanding bus passenger in every way. He is always polite and kind and helpful. For these reasons, he is being promoted to the assistant bus monitor, effective immediately. Keep up the excellent work, Donathan. All right, so congratulations, Mr. Bus Monitor Assistant. We appreciate that. All right. Next, I want to recognize Sienna Frink. She is a 4th grader at Tolliver in Miss Green's class, and we just recently celebrated Veterans Day last week. And she wrote this wonderful poem, and she's going to share it with us.
Very brave people. Every day they work hard, take chances, even fight until the end. Risk their lives and all of this just for us. Never give up on adventure.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, and last, RJ, can you bring your project up here? All the 4th graders were assigned a STEM project to create a structure, and we had everything from pool houses to train stops and campsites and she sheds. I mean, we had a list of everything. For here, RJ's project and how creative he was.
Wow, she sheds, huh?
He put some time and effort into that. That is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Fabulous. All right, here's your certificate. Let me help us bring it. You got it all? I'll hold this for you. There you go.
That's all right there. That's excellent.
Okay. Yes. You gotta come back, Mom didn't get one already.
Come on, Rhonda, you supposed to be with
I know,
it.
it's all
All right, turn around so everyone can see.
Thank you.
All right.
It goes in the superintendent's
Okay,
office.
Dr. Murray from Bates.
All right, so I've got a few students here for recognition, and this is for K-Prep Distinguished. So these are for students who were distinguished across the board in all of their tests that they took last year in K-Prep. We had several eighth graders, and these are eighth graders from last year, so they're current freshmen in high school. They had to they were distinguished in reading, writing, social studies, and math, so in 4 different tests. And then we're also recognizing 7th graders, and 7th graders were distinguished in reading, math, and science. So 3 tests for 7th graders and 4 tests for 8th graders. Our 8th graders from last year, so this year's freshmen, Ramona Pierce and Hank Helmers. And then we've got more also, and I'll read their names, but the rest of them aren't here. And then our 7th grader that is here tonight is Evan Sanders. And I'll just read the names of those that were distinguished but are not here. Tim Hoyt Couch, Kira Pusateri, Desiree Tandy, and then our 7th graders from last year, Grace Haynes, Henry Hurley, and Sophia Wilson. So that's our K-Prep distinguished. Next, I have 2 volunteers, and these 2 volunteers are my SBDM members for this year. And something that I will say about both of them is that they have a strong passion for our students and for school-wide improvement. Each one of them always come with prepared questions to SBDM. They're always very active, and they're pushing all of our teachers as well as myself to be better at what we do. So they're definitely models for what we want to be a part of Danville Schools. So that is Ann Goodwin and Heather Pennington.
Boring old adults. Yeah, I mean, we don't have anything like RJ's Lodge.
All right, unless we've missed anyone, I think our recognition part is over. Especially thank the students and all their work, and also our volunteers, and those of you who would like to leave the meeting, it's okay.
Thank you.
So, thank you all very much.
Leave that house here.
Okay, on the agenda, item 3D, personnel notifications. Have you all had a chance to take a look at that? If you have any questions, of course, you can call the superintendent. Thank you. Do you have anything else? Okay, next on the agenda is we need minutes of previous meetings to be approved. We need a motion, please.
I move we approve both minutes from previous meetings.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from October the 14th and October the 21st as submitted. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Excellent. Okay, under reports, under 5A, this was a request that, and I've talked to Dr. McDonald about this. Our scheduled meeting, the first one is December the 3rd, and then it goes to December the 9th. December the 3rd is going to be a tough meeting, especially coming after Thanksgiving. So what I'm asking the board to approve is that we move the December 3rd work session to December the 16th, which then will allow us to have a meeting on the 9th and the 16th. So do you have any comments?
No, I think it's also, not only, of course, the Monday after Thanksgiving break, it's also just 2 weeks away. So
Right.
there's not going to be a lot of information between now and December the 2nd.
So I'd like to get a motion on that if we can. I don't think it's necessary, but I'd like to have it in the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the change to the board calendar to reflect the following changes: to cancel the December 2nd board meeting, change the December 9th board meeting to a working session, and add December 16th as the regular board meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion to make the meeting date changes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you all. Okay, and then we'll go down to school-wide fundraiser approval. Dr. McDonald?
Yeah, so this was, this was submitted for the December board meeting. However, if you'll notice, so it's a last-minute add to your agenda, and if you'll notice the dates, since we just changed the date of the December board meeting, this fundraiser would have started before our 9th board meeting, but if we'd have been able to have had it on the 2nd, it would have been on time. So it is a late ad, but it is simply a high school book fair for the library. If you'll notice, there's 2 on there. There is the one that's for December, which starts on the 16th. And then if you'll scroll to the second page, that is, I believe it's May, let me get the exact date, May 4th.
We don't
Yeah, I
have
don't still
anything.
see the attachment.
Is it, you may need to refresh your page.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to log out and log back in.
So it's basically one fundraiser that will start December the 16th, and the exact same book fair will repeat itself May the 4th
Okay.
for the library.
Close out and go back up and should show up.
Yeah, I logged out and logged back in.
And again, apologize, it was scheduled for December, but since we changed the date, that'll throw off the December book fair.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
I make a motion for the approval of the attached fundraisers as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you all for your patience. Okay. So we're going to go to the strategic plan update. Dr. McDonald?
Yes, and I'm going to ask Teresa, thank you. We have, of course, we have 8 overarching goals in our strategic plan that we're working on district-wide. This first page is, so you have 1 page for each goal, so you're looking at 8 pages. I had uploaded all but 2 on Friday, and then the 4th and 5th goal were uploaded today. We had a glitch in consolidating the information. So anyways, I hope that you had time over the weekend to review through these. And remember, the first 3 goals are our academic goals. And this first goal, and if you would slide it just a little bit more for me, Teresa, to get the bottom. There we go. So under each goal, we have a certain number of strategies that we're using in order to meet that goal. For goal number 1, which is improving our ACT score, we have 5 strategies that we're working on. So, and I'm giving a little more detail on this page so you can understand the structure of the update that we're giving you. At the bottom of each page, we do an overall likelihood of achieving that goal. We have a color scale of red being unlikely, orange, yellow, and then green meaning that definitely likely. We are making a ton of progress on this goal. We had a long way to go, and so it's something that we will keep evaluating. We're not going to have it green at this point because we did have such a long way to go, but we're making a lot of strides. And I'm actually going to put one of our principals on the spot, if you don't mind. Do you mind giving the board a quick update on some of the things that you're doing to really move us forward in preparing all of our students so that we can see an increase in ACT scores? Maybe talk a little bit about CERT or a couple of things that you're doing.
One of the things we are focused on is ACT preparation. We did what's called the CERT assessment. Last year it was implemented, but it wasn't really with fidelity. So we really emphasized to the students the importance of it, them taking ownership of it. So right now we're in the process of, they have review activities that they can go through to prepare. And again, let me reiterate, we're not just preparing for one test. It's all about taking ownership in their learning, and this is one step of the process. So we'll do that and probably get administered the second assessment probably around the 12th of December. So they'll get some type of measure, and it also tells the staff things that they can work on. So we're having conversations with students across the board in regards to that 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. We're able also to pull out as it's measured with transition readiness and also benchmarks, and we can see where students are right now. So 9th grade students can actually see where they are right now currently, and actually it tracks growth over time. And so we have some juniors who've taken it 2, 3, 4 times so they can see how they did prior, and it helps them prepare, moving forward. Also in classes, staff are doing spiral reviews, they're doing reviews, maybe bell ringers, different activities as far as that goes for preparation for ACT. I was in one class today and they were talking about how the wording may be a little different, trying to assist students through that process. So it's all about understanding the assessment. Again, I come back to, it's not just about the assessment, it's also about, moving forward, taking ownership in that learning, because you all know in anything you do, you're going to have to pass assessments, no matter what job you have. And this is one of those things we're using as a measure. The key is we're emphasizing to students is prepare for life after high school, and that's also college and or maybe post-secondary, maybe a welder or HVAC or something like that. And this is one of those steps you go through. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing with CERT review for the ACT. I do have other information, Mr. Ball, if you do come to site base, actually Thursday, I'll have some information in regards to that, and I can share that with you, Dr. McDonald, as well.
Thank you, Mr. Elmore, appreciate it. Thank you for letting me put you on the spot. So let's look at goal 2, Teresa. Ms. Osborne, you'll roll to the second one. So the second goal is looking at math and English language arts and moving us towards the state average. We're making a lot of strides around this goal. I'm not going to go into each strategy in detail. We have 5 strategies here. One of the things that we're really working on is consistent PLCs and really making sure that we are looking at and analyzing data so that all our decisions are based on that. We're also looking at curriculum mapping. We're working on common assessments, working with Mastery Connect to make sure that we're tracking standards appropriately, as well as working on the new standards. So we've had quite a few meetings. Our instructional coaches have been hard at work in rolling out the new standards. So quite a bit of work going on here. You can see we have that one in green, feeling pretty confident that we're going to meet that goal. And there's a lot of fast-paced work around this goal with these 5 strategies. So could you roll to the third one? So the third goal that we have is really about providing rigorous and relevant curriculum to all of our students in all subjects, which really leads to closing that achievement gap. And so through that, we have 3 strategies here. One is around technology. One is really around CERT and ACT, which you heard briefly, and then digital literacy and pathways. And so we are on target with this goal. Quite a bit has been done there as well. So feeling very good about that one. Goal 4 and 5, I'm just going to kind of summarize together. We've seen a lot of movement here, as you know, with our partnership with Ephraim McDowell, where we added our LCSW, our licensed clinical social worker, and also when the board invested in that second position. Those individuals, and of course for confidentiality, I'm not going to go into detail, but they have been very busy with full caseloads and have made a lot of progress in that area. So really, really proud of what's going on with the work there. We'll be glad to give some more details in a more confidential setting about these 2 goals, but I do see us making a lot of progress there, and would be glad to talk with you individually or set up a time for you to talk to a couple of our new employees that are providing some of our behavioral supports to our students. So can you go to, that's 4 and 5, which are kind of together there. Also included in 4 and 5 as well is our PBIS, which we are working with and moving forward with. And you feel free to call and talk to any of our principals. I think that Are we completely there? No, but are we moving into having a full PBIS model? Yes. So seeing a lot of great strides there every day. And I know any of our principals would be glad to give you some details on their individual schools. So goals 6 through 8 is around operations, and goal 6 is around safety, making sure that we're following all of our emergency management plans. We have everything there up to date. You can see that that one is all green. I mean, we pretty much hit that goal in every area. The thing about this is that this is ongoing. You know, this is not a goal that we just hit. We continue to do this. I know our safety coordinator, Mr. McKinney, is in the buildings frequently, and really making sure that we are meeting all of the requirements through Senate Bill 1. And like I said, when Senate Bill 1 first passed, we were doing the majority of everything that was in that bill to begin with. And just let us kind of do a checklist of yes, we're doing that, yes, we're doing that. So I feel strongly about that, everything's up to date and we're doing what we're supposed to there. It's always our #1 priority is making sure that our students and our adults in our buildings are safe. So goal 7 is around strong financial practices. As you know, we've had some conversation over the last 6 months or so, and we are moving towards or are working on currently evaluating all of our financial structures, our internal controls. We've made quite a few changes in the last 3 to 6 months around internal controls. So we are quickly moving towards being in a very solid place with this. Mrs. Osborne, do you want to make any comments around this goal beyond? And then the last one, if you'll remember because we get an update on the strategic plan every other month, and so goal 8 is around human resources and really recruiting a strong teaching force. And so you saw a lot of orange last time because we really hadn't started working on this goal for this year. This goal will be something we do every year. Every year we will develop a recruitment plan. Every year we will update our recruitment materials. Every year we will decide where we need to focus and recruit in what areas. And so we have started some of that work. We've updated all of our materials. We have all of our materials ready to go to job fairs. We've already attended one job fair. It was at Western Kentucky. At that job fair we collected 22 resumes and had conversation with December graduates, and we are currently signed up for job fairs with UK, Moorhead, Georgetown, EKU, and a second one for May graduates at WKU. So we're registered, we're ready to go, we've got all our materials ready to go, and we'll hit those job fairs. We did this at the end of last year. We went to quite a few job fairs. We collected a lot of resumes, and our counselor, a new counselor that we have at Hogsett, I met at one of our job fairs. So it is definitely beneficial and helps us in recruiting strong teachers.
One of the schools you didn't mention, Kentucky Western, right, have you been up there?
So no, I haven't been to that one, and last year I went to Kentucky State and actually visited classrooms, and I will do that again this year. They do not have a job fair. They have a small teacher prep program, so I actually just made arrangements to go talk to students at the end of one of their classes for their juniors and seniors that were getting close to graduating, and so I'll do that again this year. I just haven't made those arrangements yet. Okay. So moving forward, a lot of the same activities that we did last year, but really kind of increasing. I think we did 5 total job fairs last year, and we're going to hit more than that this year.
Are you partnering with the Chamber or the Heart at all to take, like, paraphernalia about Danville? Because I think that's the thing is, it's also we're a great community to be part of. So I think as a young person graduating, I would want to know, where am I going to live? What am I going to do?
Yes.
So, like, getting those materials, Mike.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that we do when we set up for a job fair is we actually have a large screen, and we have a rolling video that is Danville, not our school system.
Right.
So it has Charlie's and Hobby Lobby. It has all of the businesses. It scans some of the communities. It shows the outside of our buildings. So it lists things to do in Danville. We also have a large map that has a star on Danville, and then it has a line to the large cities. So it's Lexington, Louisville, Frankfort, and how many miles, which helps a young graduate get kind of context as to where Danville is if they've not been here, and how quickly. And Danville's a great sale, so especially for fresh, young graduates, because you can talk about the small hometown family feel, but you are still close to Lexington, a large city. If there's some youthful activities that you want to do, you're still close to a large city. So Danville is a great sale, and at those job fairs, that's kind of half of what we do is sell the city in order to recruit to the town.
That helps.
But yes.
Steve, I'd like to say my compliments on getting ahead of this, because this is very, very important. The data has just come out about a month ago where the state of Kentucky lost 27,000 teachers since 2010 and now. So all the school systems are competing, and it appears as though we're ahead, and we're going to recruit really good teachers.
Excellent comment. It's that we're not the only ones that are this aggressive, which really says a lot what's going on statewide and nationwide with teacher shortages. We've been blessed with the staff that we have and our new folks that we've gotten. But we are going to have retirements just like everybody else does, and so we're going to have a lot of shoes that need to be filled. And we'll get there, so that with the aggressive nature that our superintendent and staff are taking on recruitment, it's huge, absolutely huge, and it has already made a difference. So appreciate your efforts. Also on overall the strategic plan, it's what we live and breathe. Districts need to have these. These used to be exclusive only to businesses. It was a huge undertaking. It's a living document. So things will change as time goes on, and things will be adjusted, and that's what's important, is that this is not sitting on a shelf. It's actually being used. You can ask all the teachers and the principals, administrators. It is something that the district is living by. So it's important work, and I appreciate all that have been involved in that. So does anybody else have any other comments? Okay, thank you, Dr. McDonald. Okay, item 5B, which is athletic stipends. Before Dr. McDonald jumps in, I know we got folks a little nervous about this. This is something that the board has really wanted to see. It's not trying to eliminate or decrease, but we needed a true understanding on what our school district spends on athletics. I'm gonna be frank, the number was a little higher than I anticipated. So between Bate and the high school, $250 some odd thousand. And we do offset some of this with admissions and so forth. But it is a tremendous commitment that our district makes to our athletic program. And I'm proud of our athletic program. But I do think that this is often not looked at on a regular basis. And it isn't just going to be athletics that the board's diving into. We're going to look at every program. We're going to look at how monies are being spent, and are we spending things on programs that maybe aren't even there anymore, or are just, we need to look at and improve. So on that note, this isn't just something that Dr. McDonald came up with. This is something that we as a board really had wanted to know this information, and I appreciate you and Ms. Osborne's work in this, and Lisa Fisher and those others involved, because this took a lot of time. So, if you will.
Okay. And like Mr. Baker said, as you all know, we have to have a draft budget to the State Department in January. So as we've been actually, believe it or not, working on budgeting for the 2020-21 school year, we have looked into a lot of areas. So not just athletic stipends, but also academic stipends for academic clubs, transportation, maintenance and facilities. So literally we've been digging down to the penny in our budget across every area as we plan for the 2020-21 school year. This is the first of several presentations that I will have for the board on specific areas and what our spending looks like, specifically in comparison to other districts in the area, region, or across the state that may be similar to our district. So what we're looking at this evening is just coaching stipends. So it's what we pay our coaches to, of course, to do what they do best, coach. So you're gonna have a look at several different ways, and so here we see all of the areas that we pay stipends for at Danville High School. And so there are three of these areas that are in blue, and that's because those are supports to all of our teams. So our athletic director, game managers, we have multiple game managers, and then weight room coordinator. Those positions do not coach a team that competes, excuse me, but support all of our teams. And so you can see what we have here at the high school. Need a clicker, Teresa. So here, I'm going to list the stipends, and then after that we're going to compare to other school districts across the state. So at Danville High School, it's the same list that you saw on the last slide, but what you're looking at is the number of positions and then the total that stipend is. So for example, game manager, it's not one person at $10,000, but it is 4 individuals at $2,500 each. And then you'll see the rest of the stipends as you go down. This is through cross country, and then the next slide will finish up our stipends. Swimming down through esports, which was our newest team that we added just this year. So out of those stipends, the total on the next slide, middle school. So in middle school, you see that as well, game manager, which I apologize, had in blue because it supports all of our middle school teams as well. And this is all of our stipends at the middle school on this one slide. And then here are our totals. So for Danville High School, our stipends for coaches and the supports is $214,600, and at Bate Middle School it's $51,000 for a total of $265,600. So middle school comparisons. So I know this is tiny. It's attached in e-meeting, so you can pull it up to see it a little better. But we're comparing 3 other school systems. We have quite a few more for the high school, but just wanted to take a quick look at middle school. So, and I also want to say thank you to Lisa Fisher. I asked her to pull all of these numbers, and I know it took her quite a bit of time to pull these numbers. So for Danville, with the $51,000 that you just saw with 30 positions at our middle school, and then Bull, 27 positions at a little over 39, Lincoln, 22, a little over 31, and then Jessamine County at 23 positions with 37. If the board would like, we can pull more schools, but the middle school is a little bit different and time consuming because of course there's more middle schools, but that just gives an idea of where we're at when it comes to middle school athletic stipends. Now, where I want to focus the most time in this presentation is the high school. Now, I'm not drawing conclusions, I'm not making any suggestions. This is data we've collected as we're thinking about budgeting for the next school year. Next slide, please. So, high school, again, it's in your e-meetings, you can see it a little better, but this is apples to apples. So what we're looking at here is the exact same sports to the exact same sports. So if a different county had lacrosse. We don't have lacrosse, so we didn't put that in the comparison. So the totals that you'll see is actual sports to sports exactly. So we're looking at apples to apples. So here we have Danville and Boyle, they're our closest district. They have 62 positions at 193,000. We have 53 positions at 214,000. Now, in saying that, I do want to mention before we go and look at quite a few other districts, so we have several other districts we're going to compare to. Some districts actually have their boosters raise money and pay some extra assistant coaching stipends. So you may see some totals in a Title IX report or online with a district that may be slightly different because their boosters may provide stipends for coaches. We only compared district-funded positions to district-funded positions in the comparisons. Can we move to the next, Teresa? So, and I'll go through these. You can look at these a little more in detail. Here we have Pulaski and Jessamine. Pulaski's 159 and Jessamine is 148. Jessamine has 38 positions and Pulaski has 54 positions. Lincoln and Garrett. Lincoln's 43 positions, Garrett's 41. Lincoln 132,000 and Garrett 107,000. We have Nelson and Washington. So one of the things I want to point out is we did try to get Bardstown independent because they're similar to us, but it wasn't posted online and reached out several times and did not get that information. And we'll still reach out to see if we can get that at a later date. But we do have Nelson County, so 38 positions, 110, and then Washington, 37 at 104,000.
Which is the closest, just as we're going through here, to like our population as far as like free and reduced and
Yeah,
is
so
there one that's closest? Because I know, some of them aren't, but
yeah. So I didn't look at too much detail, just really looked across the
I
board.
just was curious.
So, and if you think about programming for athletics and not, because when we look at academics, that's kind of what we look like. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Boyle County probably has the most similar athletic programs and supports that we do, and that had them listed second because they were also the second highest as far as their stipends go as well. So next. That is Lexington Christian Academy that you see there on the left, and then Fayette. You have 37 coaching positions. We didn't get the positions for Lexington Christian because they didn't have that posted online and we weren't able to get that information, but you can still see their total in their stipends. They actually don't have some of the, if you'll notice. So I don't know how helpful that information is since it's a little different, but still listed it in there. Next. And then Somerset, who we know is one of our rivals and we compete with them, so athletically they're probably very, very similar to us. So I would say they're probably one of the closest. And then we have Glasgow as well on there. And you can see, I don't have to read, you can see the number of positions and the totals. And here's just a list straight down. So it's probably a lot easier to look at this slide. That's number of positions and then stipend cost, and they're in order. From the highest to the smallest amounts that you have here. The average stipend totals is $147,218, and the average number of positions for the sports is 44. Well, we'll just say 44.
45.
Yeah, 45. 44, 45 is our average number of positions. So. This one is a little, I know it's going to be difficult to read on the screen, but encourage the board to dig deep into it, over the next month or two as we're thinking about budgeting. What you have here is the first, in each section, and we just have 4 comparisons here. Some of the ones that are similar to us, we know we compete a lot athletically with Somerset and Boyle County. They're kind of our rivals. And so the first 2 columns in each section for that school district, you're going to see the exact same thing repeated, the number of positions and the stipend total for each one of those sports. The next column is the number of athletes that they have on their team for the year that we were comparing, which would have been last year's.
Last year's. It came from the title.
It came from last year's, and so we pulled this from the Title IX reporting for each. I'm saying we. This was all Lisa Fisher. Let me make sure I give credit where credit is due.
And on ours, I would add that the roster numbers, if I had current year, I use that. Okay, so for like fall, okay, so that would be the only difference.
Yeah, and so they have the number of athletes, and then you have the cost per athlete. So if you take the stipend that we're spending with the number of athletes we have, and then what each athlete costs. So for Danville, per athlete, we have an average of $413, and then you can see the others. Bull is $238, Pulaski is $312, and Somerset is $262. And there's a lot of numbers there, but if you're interested in a particular sport, you can go across and see what that particular sport costs us per athlete.
I see one thing sticking out there, it's cheerleading.
Go back to it.
I just spent a lot of money on cheerleading.
So, like I said, all of these slides are purely for information's sake as we think about and plan our budget for the next school year. If you have any questions about where the data came from, or if you're curious and you want us to dig into some more information or dig into the data deeper, or you want to see it presented in a different way, we'll be glad to get more information and bring it back to the board if you have additional questions. I know there's a lot here to consume, and it'll probably take you a few days to kind of look through and think about it.
How much revenue, do the athletics bring in? Or is that?
So the numbers that you're looking at for Danville, that's purely district funds.
Right.
So the additional amount that we spend, so the gate money, it goes right back into athletics. It's not included here. The Board of Education provides the total that we saw that's completely out of our budget, our general fund. We also provide $60,000 to the high school for transportation and equipment, uniforms. Is that those three? And then at BATE, we provide $12,000 for the 2020-21 year. This year, BATE had saved some money over time, and the board is not going to provide that additional 12 because BATE has that in their funds where they've been conservative, and BATE will be spending down what they have this year. But next year, we would go back to 12,000 at BATE. And then we have the cost of the UK athletic trainer that we provide every year, and that was $25,000 this year. So the stipends that you see, and then additionally $60,000 in equipment, uniforms, and transportation, and 12 at BATE, 25 for the UK trainer. Am I forgetting anything, Lisa, or is that him? And then the board also pays for helmet reconditioning on football each year, which runs somewhere between $5,000 and $6,000.
How much is the insurance for the sports?
And so the insurance for the sports is rolled into some of the other insurance, so I don't have a particular breakout cost for just sports, but that, of course, would be a cost. And then all of this is above gate money. So gate money also goes back into the mix, and it's spent on each sport. However, this is above and beyond that. This is out of general funds, what I explained. So 4 things. The 60 at the high school, 12 at BATE, which is equipment, uniform, transportation, 25 for the UK trainer, and $5,000 to $6,000 for football helmet reconditioning. Did Ms. Fisher, Ms. Osborne, did I forget anything?
So we're actually near about $380,000 that we spend out of general funds
Yes.
for the support of athletics.
Yes.
Okay. Then, of course, you would minus the gates. What was that?
No, Gates is on top of that.
It's on top.
That's on top of it, or first, or however you want to put it. That does not count gate money.
Right.
That is out of general fund that the board provides to support athletics.
Any comments or concerns from anybody? Mr. Smiley, you're the athletic guy.
Obviously, I'm very biased in this area. I think that the money is very, very well spent for the student athletes. In my own life, I was motivated to continue being, because I was in a sport. And I believe there's a lot of students from Danville are the same way. I think there's, it's a cost, but it's money well spent, in my opinion.
I tend to agree, and I mean, as much I know our numbers are higher, but I also feel like this might be a little bit of a challenge of an independent school district, is that we may not be able to pull our people who helped fund and do boosters and things are getting pulled 80 different directions in Danville. We're always knocking on their door for something, so I feel like maybe some of these other districts that are bigger, I mean, that's why I was asking the size, like maybe able to pull more in from outside sources where I'm not sure we can. And it's nice to see this report because, I mean, I've been on the board 3 years now and I've seen pieces of this and saying we need to increase this and this, but it's really helpful to see this all in one spot. I mean, it's really nice, so thank you for that. But I mean, as a student athlete, I think I see, and having my kids in the school's athletic departments now, I see what it means to those kids and keeps them coming and keeps them motivated. So.
Well, the one thing that just jumps out at me, I'm looking at the strength of the cheerleading across the board. Why are we so high and the others are so low? And somewhere that needs to come down.
Well, and also, I mean,
That's got to come down.
I mean, there's a little discrepancies, like, you know, the baseball, softball, like, should they be making the same, being Title IX, boys and girls? I don't know. Is that?
That
Yeah.
falls on experience level,
Okay.
Yes, that's
because we
okay.
have columns
And
in
that's
our
what I don't
salary
know too,
schedule.
because some of it, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Sure.
The Boyles off by 10,000 on their pay.
So the bull numbers are accurate, however, if they have, so you need to schedule maybe an appointment with
Okay.
Ms. Fisher because the numbers up there are accurate based on, we received those numbers from.
Okay, I was just looking at their
Yeah.
their stipends.
They
based
also
on that.
have boosters that pay
Right.
for some of
And
their
it says
stipends.
that, I didn't count that in.
Yes.
But on their Title IX report, it said 56,000.
Their Title IX report would include anything that they receive from
Right.
their boosters, just like our Title IX report, but those numbers are accurate of money that is funded from general funds from the boards of educations for each of those districts.
I'd like to add just a couple more comments. A lot of times people look at the schedules up there and they look at the money, but don't understand the full length of what a coach does. It's more than coaching in that one season.
Yeah.
They're doing summer camps, they're going here, they have all kind of extra duties, weight training, take their teams to camps. They totally dedicate their lives and they're away from their families, but they're good people and they work hard. And I've always supported advancing higher pays because they deserve it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, and I agree with you completely, and again, this is informational. This is informational.
Okay.
And we did get a cut 7 years ago when we went off index. Correct? I mean, 7 years ago, football was at 53,000. So there has been at least a cut to that one sport to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
if you added the index where we were 7 years ago, and put us all on index, those numbers would be quite a bit higher.
Mm.
So all in all, this is information that the board wanted, because we've needed to know for a while the contribution that's being made beyond the sport revenue that's coming out of general funds. And so I think it was well done. And there are more monies that we know about that are being spent by other programs from booster monies. So, but this comparison is strictly general fund monies. And You know, I get parents that ask a lot, well, why can't we get more money for the fishing team? And why can't we get more money, you know, for swimming? And why can't we get more money? And so when you get these requests, then it got me thinking that we really need to look at all of our sports on an individual basis compared to what other places do. And so that's been accomplished, and it is fantastic
I
information.
like the transparency of it.
Sure does. Shows
Shows
what's going on. Yep, I agree. Good
Any
report.
other comments or concerns?
No.
All right. Thank you, guys, all of you that were involved in this. We greatly appreciate your efforts. The next item that we have is going to be staffing report.
Oh, sorry,
That's okay.
I was
You're-
getting my computer pulled back up. So this is for one teacher that you were given information on this past Monday for an additional FMD teacher that's based strictly on numbers.
Mhm.
I make a motion to approve the staffing report as submitted.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
All right.
All those opposed, motion carries. All right, thank you all. Mrs. Osborne, you are up, our finance director.
Okay, we're gonna look at the month of October. You should have an attachment. Our beginning balance was $3,510,975.41. Our total receipts, $2,434,362.33. If you look on the second page, third page, you'll see all the receipts. Total disbursements, $2,388,100.55. That's our accounts payable and our payroll. And the balance at the close of the month was $3,557,237.19. Part 2, you'll see from the munis balance sheets, tells all the funds. We break it down by each fund, same total. And part 3 is our bank reconciliation. You'll see that at the close of the month for October, for October, we've got our outstanding payroll checks, $124,146.71. Outstanding AP checks, $74,857.98. You'll also see a return check down there for $110. It has already been redeposited, and you'll see it show back up on November. And then the last page of the report, you should see a copy of the bank deposit. Any questions? I'm going to try not to cough on everybody.
Do you have any feeling on how our tax collections are going?
I think it's going really good. It started just this month. Tiffany, have me that page right there. This one? Yes, please. Now think about it. Our bills just went out in October. So far, we've collected 2,248 bills, which is $3,273,819.52. We've collected 38% just up to this point. So I think we're doing great. Any other questions?
No, and as you know, I'm going to ask every month where we are. So, and that is tremendous, 38% already. Yeah. Got mine paid.
Jake's
So,
been busy.
Me too.
Yeah.
so anyways, but it's good. Do you see anything coming up or financial-wise that you want us to be on the lookout for?
We're already working on the budget for
Right.
2021. That's the big thing we're working on right now.
You know, that's kind of odd to work on the next budget, and we haven't even gotten through this budget, so.
We're planners.
And we just finalized the audit, and you will see a report in December on the
Okay.
audit, and it was fun. But we're going to complete the report in December.
Would you rather he come to the work session or the regular meeting? Do you have a preference?
I don't know what meetings to use. I'm just.
Let's, I think I'd like to have him at the regular meeting.
Okay.
Is that, y'all okay with that?
okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, do I need to make a motion? Make a motion for the approval of the October 2019 financial report as submitted.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second on the finance report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Okay, now next up, we have the approval of invoices.
You should have an attachment for that as well. This month was pretty calm. I did pick out a couple things I wanted you guys to look at. On page 3, you'll see Arbiter Sports. That's a new program that is paying for our referees. It's took a lot of work off of our high school bookkeeper. She spent a lot of time writing checks to referees. And if that referee didn't show up, she'd have to void the check and resubmit. And a lot of the school districts have gone to this program, and it's, so far, I think it's working really well. And then I wanted you to look on page 10. You'll see Government Utilities Technology. That's what we call GUTS. These are the people that have, since it's October, they have prepared all of our tax bills and mailed them out for us. So you see that expense, $7,219. And then on page 28, you'll see $25,600. That's for our athletic trainer, Ms. Clausen. Everything else was pretty regular.
I was gonna let you know, I was asked last week what exactly it cost for us to mail out all of our tax bills.
Now you know.
And I said, I will have that information shortly, so thank you for having that out. Does anybody else have any concerns or discussion? Okay, we need a motion, please.
Make a motion that we approve of the invoice totaling $1,042,896.83 as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then next we have the consent agenda. We need a motion to approve without discussion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do we have anybody to speak today?
No.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.